Hello students, so you're about to record your adding and subtracting fraction problem. So remember, you're only going to record one of these problems. So I've got my addition, I've got my question filled in, and I've got my subtraction slide, and I've got my question filled in. So just the way that the way that my questions turned out, I find my addition fractions problem a little more interesting. So I'm going to focus on it. All right, so a couple things that I want you to keep in mind when you're recording this video. Number one is that you want to use as much of your knowledge and your vocabulary as possible. So things like equivalent fractions, you're looking for the common denominator, adding, subtracting, all these things that you've learned to do, you need to express in your video. So before you start, one thing you can do, even though on the assignment sheet it said that all I want you to do is type in the questions, what you can do is you can bring down the first equivalent fraction here, and we can type that in before we start recording. Now remember, I'm not recording yet. And then what I can do is I can bring down my second equivalent fraction over here. And that's just going to save a little bit of time. It doesn't hurt that that's filled in. It actually makes a lot more sense that those two numbers would be filled in. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind is always be looking at your rough worksheets because that's kind of the guideline of the things that you're going to fill in. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick example here of what to say during your video. So I'm going to start in a couple of seconds, okay? All right, here we go. Hello students, welcome to my adding fractions problem. All right, so my fraction problem is 5/6 plus 3/8. So the problem is that the denominator 6 and the denominator 8 are not common, okay? So they are not the same denominator. So we need to do a little bit of work in finding the common denominator. So if I multiply 6 times 8, I get 48. Now I can use that denominator, but because in my rough work I found out that I actually have a lower common denominator of 24. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in here the common denominator of 24 for this side for fraction 1, and I'm going to fill in the common denominator for fraction 2, which is 24. All right, so to find the new numerator, I have to discover what I did to the denominator. So I started with a denominator of 6 for fraction 1, and I multiplied 6 by a number to get 24. And that number is 4. So what I need to remember is what I do on the denominator, what I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So I'm going to multiply the first fraction's numerator by 4 as well. 5 times 4 is 20. So my new equivalent fraction for 5/6 is 20 over 24. All right, let's do the same calculation for fraction 2. Let's look at the denominators. I started with a denominator of 8 and I ended with a denominator of 24. So what do I do to 8 to make it 24? Well, I have to multiply by 3. Remember what I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So I'm also going to multiply the numerator by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So my new second fraction, 3/8, is actually equivalent to 9 over 24. So let's bring down these two new equivalent fractions. So the first fraction is 20 over 24. And then my second equivalent fraction is 9 over 24. 9 over 24. All right, so remember, when we're adding fractions, the denominator stays the same. We did all of that work to get the common denominator, so the denominator stays the same. And then to find the numerator, I simply add the two numerators together. 20 plus 9 is 29. All right. So my answer is 29 over 24, but I'm not finished yet because this is an improper fraction. So in order to change an improper fraction to a mixed number answer, I divide the denominator into the numerator. The denominator 24 goes into the numerator one time. Okay? And then my leftovers, or my remainder, is 5, and my denominator stays the same at 24. Now, I've got an extra box here, mixed number answer in lowest form, but if I scan my final fraction, it already is in the lowest form because there is no number that can divide evenly into 5 and 24. So I'm just going to repeat my answer here, 1 over 5 1 and 5/24. So in conclusion, 5/6 plus 3/8 equals 1 and 5/24. Thank you for watching my video. All right, so that's all you need to do. Again, try to keep the video around 2 to 3 minutes. Try not to make it too long. All right, good luck. Bye.